Hi everyone, it's Kelly from Kelly's Bead Boutique. So I've had a really busy day today making all kinds of new videos, and I think you are going to love all of them. Well, I hope you do anyway. So the first one that I've got for you is a pair of riveted earrings. I've taken some buttons because I like to take things and make them a little different. So I've taken some buttons and some rivets and a little bit of wire and created a really unique pair of earrings. So if you want to learn how to make them, come and join me. Okay, so to make our riveting earrings, we have a couple of the tiara cast buttons. I have a couple of their little daisies that have a bit of a larger hole, some little spacers and some little tiny baby spacers, a pair of ear wires, and a pair of these little rivets. They're sort of like a self-riveting rivet, if you want to call it that. And for tools, we're just going to be using a pair of chain nose pliers, a plastic mallet, one of our chasing hammers, and a little bench block. So let's get started. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to place my button on my bench block. Now I'm going to hold it in my hand because if I put this down on the table and start hammering, the camera's going to bounce all over the place. But I'm just going to use a plastic mallet. You can use a rawhide if you have it, but you don't want to use your chasing hammer because that will actually change the structure of the metals in there, and we don't want to do that. But I just want to flatten it slightly. So just give it a couple little taps, and you can see the difference between the two now. One has a little bit of a dome in the middle, and now this one is flat. So next I'm going to take one of the little male parts. They have a male and a female part, and I'm going to place that on my bench block just to make it easier. It doesn't matter which hole you use because we're going to be able to turn this around. And I'm going to place that little daisy on top. And now I'm going to take the little female part, and I'm going to just take it. It always falls out of my hand because it's so tiny. And I'm going to place it over top of the little male end. So I know it's going to be hard for you to see, but I just place it over top like that, and you can actually just kind of push down. So now I'm going to take my plastic mallet and I'm going to sort of hammer this down. Sometimes we get lucky and it'll pop right in there, right where I want it to go. Give it a few good whacks. Yeah, and exactly where I wanted it to go. So now it's just created this little bit of an embellishment. So sometimes when you're creating this, it doesn't go all the way in, so that's when I use the chasing hammer. I didn't need it this time, but if this didn't secure, what I usually do is I take the round end of this chasing hammer and I just gently hit right on that little middle section there. I don't hit around, I just kind of tap, tap, tap to kind of secure it a bit more, but I didn't need that this time, so we got lucky. All right, the other thing I forgot that we're going to use is a little bit of 20 gauge copper wire. So I'm going to have this in kit form, and I'm going to have it in two different colors. I'm going to have like an antique silver and a copper, and then a copper and an antique silver. So I'll show you the other one at the end. And I'm not doing so good with my tool descriptions today. I did forget that we're going to need these bail making pliers. Now, if you have a pair of round nose pliers, you can always use that. I forgot I'm going to need those too. Boy, I tell you, I need to start this video all over again, but I really don't want to have to do this one again. So I hope you guys forgive all my mistakes today. Okay, so this one is their, I think it's a 6mm and an 8.5, and we're going to use this 6mm on the top. I've also heard some people say that they can use a chopstick if you don't have this fancy tool, but we do sell these if you're looking for them. Okay, so I cut about, I don't know, about a 6 or 7 inch piece there. And I'm going to take my chain nose pliers and I'm going to go just a little ways up there, and I'm going to do a sharp bend like that. Now I'm going to come in with my bail making pliers. This has thrown me off now. Okay, and I'm going to go with the one that I'm going to use on top, and I'm going to go up and over and straight down, and I'm going to rotate my pliers and pull that back. Now, why I'm using these is because I need to create a nice big loop, because I need to get, there's quite a bit of space here, so I need to get between those two there. So I'm just going to pop that in there. And I always make it so that the little tail is on top. It makes it a little bit easier for access. And now I've got a good grip across that whole center there, and I'm just going to wrap this 3 times. So wrap that 3 times, nice and neat. You can see how nice and neat those are there. And come in with the flush side of my flush cutters. And come in and just gently tuck that down. I don't like to have burrs there. Let me move some of these tools that I forgot we were going to need. It's really early in the morning here. You know, I try to get in here and get these things filmed early in the morning, but I don't drink coffee, so my brain has not engaged yet. All right, so you see how easy these are coming together? Okay, so now I've got my loop going this way, but I want to be able to hang my ear wire, so I need to turn my loop the other way on the top. So I'm going to turn it sideways like this to create my top loop. So now I'm going to come in and just give it a little bend away. And I have way too much wire here, but I always like to work with a little more. And I'm only going to go about 1/3 of the way up because I want a small loop. So up and over and down, rotate that plier, pull it all the way to the back. And then you can now how it's sort of offset, I like to pull it back up so that it's sitting right on top, sort of like a little lollipop or a stop sign, whatever you want to call it there. So now I take my pliers and I go straight over top, and I'm going to wrap that nice and tight. And I like my loops to be super neat and tidy. I'm not going for that messy wrap look today. And now I'm going to come in and just tuck in that little burr. So you can see these come together really fast. Once you get that little piece riveted on there, it's really super simple. Okay, so I'm just going to put on my ear wire. So I'm going to open it up this way. You never want to open it that way. It'll break the neck of the ear wire. I'm going to pop my earring on and close that up nice and tight. So I'm just going to make the other one off camera, and then I'll be right back and I'll show you both pairs. Okay, so there you go. We have our completed earrings. So these were the ones that I was working on today, the copper with the silver accents. And then here's the pair that I made yesterday when I was playing around. And these are the silver with the copper accents. Now, I don't know if you can see the difference, but on this one popped in nicely this morning. And so I didn't have to hammer it down, where you can see the one that I made after. It wasn't cooperating so much, so I had to actually hammer it down a little bit. So I'll probably go in and give that a little tap with my chasing hammer, and I will just focus my the ball peen part of that right in the center, just to try to, all I'm going to do is try to get it to match up, because this has flattened now because these have a bit of a dome. So you can see that I've had to do that. I just kind of got lucky on camera, which is a miracle because that never happens. I think you guys are going to enjoy making something a little bit different. So please make sure to give me a like if you enjoyed this video, even though it was a little frenetic and crazy, but I think you get the point on how to do it. If you haven't subscribed, please make sure to do so, and please leave me a comment. I'd love to hear from everybody. And thank you so much for watching.